The United States' pre-dawn strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities at Fordo, Natanz and Isfahan have plunged the region into a new phase of destabilization, threatening to shatter the fragile balance that has long deterred direct conflict between the two countries. While Trump has warned Tehran of further attacks if Tehran retaliates, the Islamic nation's leadership faces a critical decision: how to respond without risking its survival. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi called the strikes a violent act against international laws and warned of everlasting consequences. In the coming days, it will become clear how Tehran retaliates. Here are 5 potential ways Iran could choose to respond. Direct military retaliation on US bases. To elaborate it further, Iran may launch missile strikes on American military installations in the region. The Iranian state media threatens all US citizens and soldiers in the region are now targets. Heightened security observed in Washington and New York around key religious and diplomatic sites. Next one, Israel may preempt with military action. Now, in anticipation of Iranian retaliation, Israel might strike IRGC assets, that is Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Israel places the entire country under essential activity mode, suspending schools and public gatherings. Now, the next one being activation of Iran's proxy network. What does this mean now? Viewers, Iran may unleash its axis of resistance, that is the Hezbollah, Lebanon, Houthis from Yemen, Shiite militias from Iraq, and of course Hamas from Gaza. Hezbollah's chief has pledged full support to Iran, remember. However, many proxies are currently weakened or divided. Next one being diplomatic shield from China and Russia. China and Russia, in fact, may diplomatically back Iran while publicly urging restraint. China has blamed US for inflaming tensions. Remember, Xi Jinping has also urged Israel to stop the hostilities. And Russia, in fact, has warned against US-Israel strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, citing risk of a Chernobyl-like disaster. Meanwhile, and the final one being global economic fallout, oil prices looms. Iran's parliament, remember, has approved the of a blockade of Strait of Hormuz, which threatened 20 million barrels of daily oil flow. Such action would likely trigger a global surge in oil prices and deepen the energy crisis. Let me go across to Major General Dr. Ranjan Kochar. He's a strategy and defense expert. He joins me live on News 9 Special. Thank you very much, Major General, for joining me on News 9 Special. A very warm welcome to you. Sir, we're seeing multiple options on Tehran's table, from direct military retaliation to proxy warfare. In your assessment, which option is most likely and which one carries the highest risk of spiraling into a full-scale regional war?
Thank you, Neha, for inviting me for this discussion. We have to first see, whenever we discuss options, we have to understand what is the capability and what is the intent. And after knowing the capability of a country, the intent can be worked out. So as you have very beautifully analyzed this entire issue into 4 to 5 options. Right now, the most likely option which Iran is going to exercise is it is going to escalate missile attacks on Israel. We have seen this happening from yesterday. 30 to 40 missiles were launched yesterday, and today also we will see a number of Israeli installations in terms of their air bases, in terms of their nuclear sites and other military infrastructure is going to be targeted by Iran. And Iran has not used its major missiles so far. We have just heard that Khyber Shikan was used yesterday, but it still has Sejal, Fateh 2, Imad, Shahab 3, and all these missiles are can strike targets up to 2,000 kilometers, the payload almost 600 to 800 kgs. So I visualize that since Iran has got a inventory of approximately 4,000 missiles and only about 500 have been used so far, Iran has the capability to increase the missile strikes on Israel. The second option, which is actually coming into fore, is the closure of those choke points, uh, Strait of Hormuz, Baba al Mandab, Red Sea, Gulf of Oman, and the Persian Gulf. These are the areas where a direct dominance of Iran is there. They have already passed this in Parliament yesterday to block Strait of Hormuz, which at its narrow end is just about 30 kilometers, and the sea lane is only 3 kilometers. So it's got mines available, and it has a plan B in motion because Iran has got a number of mine which can be laid there, and fast boats, because if you read the war doctrine of Iran, it specifically mentions the use of fast boats and these to be employed in this contingency, because right now it is a contingency plan for Iran, and this is going to impact the entire world. And not only the entire world, the United States in particular, I would say that. And that is why a statement from the United States today appealing to other Russia and China to intervene, to reconsider, to make Iran reconsider this decision, because this is going to impact the world in general and America in particular. And because almost 30 to 35% of your shipping routes of this entire world supply chain passes through these sea lanes. The third and the last option, as you said, will be the air bases, but these air bases in 8 locations in West Asia, I do not presume will be targeted by Iran directly. It will be mainly through their proxies, because the moment you do that, you are climbing the escalation ladder. Because the moment you are going to target the air bases of the United States, you are opening a larger canvas for the United States to intervene into this conflict. And I think that should be the last option as far as Iran is concerned, because it does not want to directly bring United States into this conflict right now, because the type of statements which are emanating from Iran are
Kochal,
right now.
General Kochal, apologies for interrupting, sir. Let me ask you this. From a strategic standpoint, sir, has the United States just crossed a threshold that could fundamentally change the security calculus in West Asia?
Yes, since 1979, you are very right in this assessment. Since 1979, this is the first time this kind of a threshold has been crossed. And I think this is a paradigm shift as far as the strategy of the United States is concerned, and also a message to Syria and the other countries also, because so far United States has made an agreement with the leadership in Syria, but one doesn't know what will happen tomorrow, because it's a very dynamic situation. Turkey also is also coming into play. So I totally agree with you that this is a paradigm shift into the strategy in West Asia, where United States is directly intervening for the first time with a particular country. Earlier, United States was dealing with the proxies. If you remember, United States bases in Iraq were targeted by the Shia militia, and United States was retaliating on these militias in actually Iraq. So I think this is a paradigm shift in the strategy of the United States, and it is also a benchmark for future operations in West Asia, particularly Iran, because Iran has been given a strong message here that it has to come onto the line. It has to forego its nuclear options. And if it is not
Right.
going to do that, it is going to invite more trouble.